Welcome back to Sports Dump, Lewis County's only sports podcast. We're sponsored by Goebel Septic, The Roof Doctor, Americool Heating and Air Conditioning, and CrossCountry Mortgage from Jacek, Gillispie. The biggest news that happened over the weekend was not Napavine baseball winning a state title. It was not a successful state track meet for the Onalaska Loggers. Nor was it the gunshots that spooked the sports crew outside their Airbnb. I assumed that was something we'd get into, but the biggest news, of course.
I don't know who needs to hear this, and I don't know what curse is broken, but the curse is broken. Y'all, God would literally speak to you through anyone, anything, so on and so forth, and he will speak to anyone,
we're going to listen to your entire
Especially in
YouTube
the end
clip.
I was really hoping an ad would
we were
play,
sitting in my living
like a
room,
Red Lobster ad.
And I had just got done putting our couch together, and all of a sudden my daughter said,
How long has this been?
the curse is
I
going.
just wanted the first 5
That
seconds.
was enough. Ridley, hold on.
Thank you. I just want to start by saying thank you to this community. I'm just kidding. Huge weight.
I'm just kidding.
Huge weight lifted off my shoulders.
Do you want to give a sincere thank you to the Napavine baseball team, and especially my hero, Tommy Debach?
Amen to that.
Yeah.
I really didn't think it would be Napavine, to be honest, but here we are. Just kidding. Of course.
Ridley's curse is broken. It took until the literal final day of the 2025-26 athletic season for Ridley to finally take photos of a state champion. Ridley, how many championship games have you been to where you just wound up taking pictures of kids looking sad?
Way too many. I got really good at taking photos of sad kids crying.
So we got what? At least two footballs for you.
Yeah, two
if not
footballs.
4? Or
This
just
is
two?
my first year at Fast Pitch.
There was at
Two
least
basketballs.
2 basketballs.
2 basketballs, a fast pitch.
You
two
didn't
fast
shoot any of
pitch.
the state volleyball stuff.
Nope.
Okay.
Do you have 2 or 4 football games? Because we've gone 0 for 2 3 straight years.
She's got 4. She's got
4,
4.
I think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's 8. I
Yep.
1 for 9.
think that's 8, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of losing going on, too much. And
Not.
to add to it, at state track the whole weekend up until baseball, Holman, the guy we brought in, shout out Holman, to help us out with photos, shot every single state champion for track. So I was going into this Napavine game feeling not great.
Feeling the pressure a little bit.
She was like, what do you think their chances are? And we'll get into this. But I was like, I mean, TCP's won 3 in a row and 4 of the last 5, but it's baseball, you know?
Anything can happen. Yeah, pretty well. Are we going to start with Napavine then? We are going to start with Napavine.
Yeah.
We have to start with Napavine winning its first ever state baseball championship. They needed a furious rally to upend Central 2B League rival Tudor Lake 6-5 in 8 innings in the semifinals on Friday. Grady Wilson, for the second time this postseason, delivered the walk-off single that put him in their first state championship game since 2014. I remember the 2014 game because I had Kilgore covering it. And he wrote up a big, long story. The game started at like 4 o'clock, and about 10 o'clock at night, we had deadline back then. I was like, "Hey man, where's your story?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm so upset. And I'm like, "What happened?" He's like, "I wrote this really good story, like 900 words, and then text editor just deleted the whole thing for me, so we had to start all over on deadline." Great story. I know.
That sounds like a nightmare. Oh my gosh.
I was ready to strangle him, but. Then Napavine against the dynasty of the 2Bs, Tri-Cities Prep. People are calling him the DeSalle of the 21st century. Beckett Landrum broke a 5-5 tie with a bases clearing triple in the top of the 5th inning, part of a 5-run frame that put the Tigers in front for good. And Tommy Debach came on in relief of Leighton Griffith and pitched 6.1 innings of 1-run ball with 5 strikeouts on 99 pitches. The 6-member senior class for the Tigers came in as 8th graders with the 2022 district titles and left with a state title in 2026. Dylan, you were there for both thrillers. What really made this a Final Four to remember for the Tigers?
I think that switch in the 7th, whatever flipped. Well, I think I know what flipped, and we'll get into it. In the 7th against Tudor Lake, it's 5-1 Tudor Lake in the semis with 1 out in the 7th. I don't remember who. Someone gets on, and that put Tudor Lake's Josh Hansen above 105. And I've asked multiple Napavine Tigers about this. I've asked Demarest about it, Brian Demarest, the coach. because they've played Tootle 4 times now this year.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them, the Tigers ruled the Ducks.
Right.
The third, they got shut out at home. Josh Hansen threw a complete game shutout. And the fourth matchup was the semi, 6 1/3 of 1-run ball against Josh Hansen.
Yeah.
They take Hansen out, and I mean this in the nicest way possible. I'm not like calling him out or putting him on the spot or anything. You could sense the desperation from the Tootle dugout, and specifically Tootle coach Chris Bird, like trying. I think it was a mixture of like trying to get the right guy to get the final outs and also kind of playing some matchups. You know, Napavine has a couple lefties at the top of that order. But you could just sense that they were desperate to get those final 2 outs because for whatever reason, Josh Hansen has Napavine's number and Napavine has every other Tootle pitcher's number. And I asked everybody I heard, like, what is it about Hansen? They're like, yeah, you know, he's got like good but not overbearing stuff and he locates well, but we don't really know. Like, it's just one of those things. Baseball's a weird game, and that's just one of those matchups where Hansen just has their number. But they get Hansen above that pitch count. They get to the pen. They draw a couple walks. They get a couple knocks. All of a sudden, it starts rolling downhill for him. Chase Reyna gets the game-tying blooper, and then Grady Wilson just rips a laser into the gap to win it in the bottom of the 8th. That offensive momentum carried over. And then on Saturday, obviously, first inning, they get 2 in the top of the first, kind of set the tone. And we've been hinting at Tommy DeBach. So Griffith, from what I've kind of heard and noticed, Griffith hurt his shoulder, I believe, in the regional last week.
Mm-hmm.
And he was fighting through the pain. He did like cryo and stuff. Like he was wanting to pitch. And when he threw at his normal arm slot, there was a bunch of pain. He had like this pinch in his shoulder.
Right.
So he was trying to drop that arm slot a little bit, give his shoulder a little relief. Couldn't control it as well. I mean, can't blame him, right? Like that's just something that happens. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And they go to DeBach, lights out the whole way. And I asked him after, I was like, I mean, you guys knew from what I've heard at this point, Leighton was kind of struggling coming in. You knew you'd be the second. Like, just kind of what was your mindset when it was, I mean, bottom 1, you're already down 4-2. You kind of got to come in and put the fire out early before this gets out of hand. He's like, cool as a cucumber. Yeah, they told me during warm-ups, that I'd probably be the second guy. I was like, would you have rather known earlier? And he's like, well, it all worked out. So cool as a cucumber, lights out the whole way. The Napavine bats just kept rolling. They had a really good game plan against, was it De Leon? I don't even remember who TCP's starter was at this point. And they kind of, once, they go back and forth a little bit. It's 5-5 going into the 5th. Beckett Landrum's triple was just a punch to the mouth for TCP. And that's the first time all year they've given up more than 5, I believe. And you could tell that they were just mentally at that point, like, not completely out of it, but they didn't know how to respond. They had not been punched like that all year. And Napavine had all the momentum. The guys were fired up. DeBach was throwing lights out. And, yeah, I mean, just kind of a crazy end to an incredible year for Napavine.
So has DeBach, how much has he pitched this year? Has he been kind of like their number 4 guy?
I think this is the first time I've seen him.
No, he's
pitched.
He's their 4 behind Bullock, Griffith, and then Hudson Chambers.
Yes.
Like him and Landrum were like 4 and 5 within their like staff. Because he's pitched a couple times. In fact, he pitched the last time against Tootle Lake in the district semifinals was the last time he pitched, maybe. Yeah, I know he pitched this postseason.
They used Bullock on Friday against Tootle, and then they used Chambers, and because the game went to extras, Chambers ended up going over the
minimum
35 or whatever the one he needs a day rest, yeah. And that pitching depth, we always talk about with baseball, the pitching depth come regionals and come the Final Four, like, is so necessary, and they really needed all 4 guys today. And Griffith, too. Griffith even, high school kid, you struggle early in the state title game. It could have been very easy for him to kind of mentally check out. He comes up, rips a double, drives in a run, scores again. He gets another hit later in the game. Like, he stayed mentally checked in at the plate, despite, obviously it could have been very easy for, a teenager to kind of just get in his head and let it affect the rest of his game. He locked back in, and the whole team just seemed so mentally. They had such a big mental advantage over TCP, and you could tell at the end too that TCP still wasn't really quite sure. They sent an assistant out to take the second place trophy.
Really?
Yep.
No players wanted to come out.
No team photos. No, they didn't even look at the guy.
You know what? Those prep school kids, just no grit to them. Nothing. Yeah. You know what? They should have sent they should have sent the losing pitcher out there to get it. That should have been his punishment.
I didn't hear. I heard sportsmanship medals were awarded after the semi, but I didn't hear any after the title game. Maybe I was just caught up in the chaos, but Yeah, I don't know if they came out to accept that.
Do you think TCP accepted their sportsmanship medallion? No.
All right. Congratulations, Napavine. Hell of a run. They broke the curse. The first ever state title. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, the other local team that made the Final Four was Tumwater in the 2As. They beat number 11 Sela in the semifinals 3-1 thanks to a complete game 13 strikeout performance from Michigan commit Luke Overbay. Liam Gustafson hit a 2-run triple, then scored on a double steal to cap their 3-run third. Dylan, you talked to Luke and Lyle Overbay after that one. How were they?
When Luke is on, I'm thinking through my names here. When Luke is on, he is on. I mean, when Lyle was on, he was on too in his big league career. But when Luke is on, he is on. I think, if I remember correctly, he also threw a complete game shutout in the quarters.
Yep, against Nathan Hale.
Yeah, and he comes out and he just shoves again, and it's kind of a control thing, right? Like he and Lyle both said when he's throwing strikes, he's just tough to hit. Obviously, that velocity on the fastball, he can get up and touch the lower 90s. But when you combine that with his changeup and his kind of, curveball, I think it is. He was talking about how his spike was up on his curve. Just the bite on that thing. When you combine that with the velocity, it's just hard for high schoolers. It's going to play at the D1 level. And that Gustafson triple just steps up. I think it was with 2 outs, 2 runs, drills it to the gap, scores 2 runs. I should say, and then comes around to score. And when Luke's on like that, 3 runs is going to be enough.
Okay. And then in the championship game, it was a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel between Tumwater's duo of Braden Conrad and Jimmy Womack versus Bainbridge's D1 arm, McCray Kerfman. His name's McCray Kerfman.
McCray Kerfman, who pitched for the first time in 3 weeks.
Okay.
Assuming he was hurt for a little, but we'll get into that anyways.
Both teams had bases-loaded chances and couldn't get a run across, sending it to extra innings tied at 0. In the bottom of the 8th, with the bases loaded, Bainbridge finally pushed across the winning run. Dylan and Lyle talked again to discuss that final play and what this run meant for the T-Birds.
So the final play, bases loaded, 1 out. Game changer says it's an error. So I just asked Lyle, I said, I'm not here to call anybody out. I'm not here to, pile on someone. I'm just curious, was it up the middle? Were you guys trying to turn 2, tough hop? Kind of just, can you lay it out for me? He goes, yeah, right back at short. We had the infield in. And the whole point of playing on turf is to avoid tough hops, but sometimes it's still baseball. Pops up, catches him in the chest. By the time he recovers, it's too late to get the guy at the plate. Those things happen. Obviously, it's baseball, but for it to happen in that moment is just especially frustrating, especially since that was kind of the cherry on top. It's a little too sweet for this analogy, but I'm going to use it anyway. That was kind of the final cherry on top of a game of what ifs for Tumwater. I think it was... So bottom 7, if I remember correctly, they actually gunned a guy out at the plate. I think Peyton Davis threw a guy out the winning run at the plate to even force extras. 8th inning, Charlie Crawford steps up, and Crawford had struck out the inning before with the bases loaded, but he steps up 2nd and 3rd, hits an absolute laser, should be destined for the left field corner. Bainbridge has a 6'5" third baseman, jumps up and get it. It's like any other team in the state that's in the corner. It's 2-0. You're probably winning a state title, but instead, Slenderman over there is getting up and getting the ball, and we're going to the bottom of the 8th scoreless. And then obviously they load the base and they win. Kerfman he's a D1 arm for a reason. He was super efficient too. I think he threw all 8 innings and he only threw 84 pitches.
84
or something
pitches
like that.
And 64 of them for strikes.
Just paints the corners and, Lyle kind of said that too, that he's not particularly, overpowering velocity wise, but his stuff is good. And when you're painting corners at the high school level, that's going to play, and it's going to play at D1 too.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about Kerfman was after the semi, I asked Lyle, what they were expecting from Bainbridge, because Thompson, their 2, started the semi, I should say. He threw 5 pitches, all 5 were balls, and then he left with an injury. And he's an Oregon commit, so they got 2. You can see why they win a state title. Yeah. That place. So he's Thompson walked off. Kerfman hasn't even played in 3 weeks. So we're not quite, and obviously it's high school. We don't get injury reports, right? We're all just kind of speculating here.
Yeah.
So Thompson walked off. Not sure how serious it is. He only threw 5 pitches, so theoretically he could be a go tomorrow if he just tweaked something and wants to go. We haven't seen Kerfman. We'll expect everything and then adjust from there. And sure enough, Kerfman comes out, throws a gem. I don't even know if he's a senior or not. I think he is.
But I don't know.
Either way, he came out and just shoved, and just kind of a tough break. But ultimately, Lyle said, how can you not be proud of a state title? A run to the title game, at least. Obviously, would love to send out. He's got a big senior class. I think it was 10 or 11 guys. Tough way for them to end a prep career. It's one of those where, in the moments and the days after, there's going to be a lot of like what if and a lot of heartbreak. But I think ultimately, down the line, this is something that they could look back on and be proud of despite the final result.
All right, moving on. Speaking of a lot of what ifs and a lot of heartbreaks, we need to go over Zach's lead pipe locks from State Track.
Yeah.
State Championship Edition. Lead pipe locks. All right.
We're not as lead pipe locks as previous years.
We'll get to our, what do we have? 7
EBC pipe lock.
We had 7 champions from Friday and Saturday. Was there one more on Thursday?
There were 2 on Thursday. It was Adam Kruger, Toledo, triple jump, and then in the 2As, Jackson Budd, Tumwater, and the long jump.
Okay, let's get the lead pipe locks, then we'll go through each of those individual state champions. Your first lead pipe lock, Luke Barrick on Alaska, the darling of the state pole vault scene. You said he would get to 1702. Incorrect.
I take the super random sidebar. I always think of that as a positive because the Mariners play that after a Mariners pitcher strikes out a batter.
Not on this podcast.
I was
today.
going for like one of the bomb like those.
There we go.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll go with that one. All right, what happened to Luke Barrick?
So, this is a story in of itself. So, the state pole vault record was broken by a sophomore in the 4A level. Jonathan Allen from Hanford cleared 17 feet 6 inches at the last weekend in Tacoma. And the PA guy that was in Yakima, and he obviously didn't know this. Like, it's just, he saw it and it's what happens. But before Barrick even attempts 16.5, which would have reset his own state record from last year, he announces that Allen set the state record, reset the all classification record with 17.06. I'm just like, damn, Barrick had been going after that all season, and then a sophomore just comes in and takes it from him. And I'm like, and I asked him like straight up, he's like, did you think about it like when you heard it? He goes, he can still break it in the summer, I guess. So like the dream isn't over yet, but he gave the Allen kid his flowers. He said that he's unreal as a sophomore to even clear that height is incredible. So, but Barrick still cleared 16.5 and reset his own record. And then he missed his 3 attempts at 17.1. So he didn't even get to 17.2. So he didn't even get to the height that I thought he would clear.
We would have given you 17.1.
It'd been like half.
All right, we'll get back to Barrick in a minute. Second lead pipe block from Zach. Ethan Thayer, 200-foot discus toss. Was that really your call? 200 feet?
Yes.
What did he throw?
His best throw was 174.7.
Where did
the
you
weather
come up
was
with
a factor.
200?
No,
The
okay,
weather
so
was
the
a factor.
his best this year was 180. His best this year was 189.
It's like saying the Mariners are going to win 150 games this year. What are we talking
And then
about?
they're going to lose in the ALCS.
Okay, listen. In my defense,
If the wind was going the other direction.
if it was not raining and the throwing ring was not a slip and slide, maybe. But also shout out on Alaska's throwing coach Abel. He was there working the event. And he came up, he's like, I nearly crashed my car when I heard on Sports something you said he was going to throw 200 feet in the distance. He's like, Jesus Christ, Zach, temper some expectations here.
All right, we'll get back to Thayer in a second. Your third lead pipe lock, Ashlyn Hufana. Where's she from?
Tumwater.
Medalist in the 100 and the long jump. Correct. Good work.
Yeah. I'll take them when I get them.
What medals did she get there?
She got 3rd in the long jump, and then she got, I believe, 6th or 7th in the 100.
Just sneaking in there for you.
Yeah.
All right, your fourth lead pipe block. Morton White passes Kara Fairhart, shot, jab, and discus medals. Kind of correct?
Okay, so she didn't. So this is bad research on my part. She didn't qualify for state in the jav.
Okay, well,
but she did medal.
Kind of on you.
Yes, that is on me. But she did medal in the shot and discus.
Okay, well, we'll give you a brief.
There we go.
There you go.
It kind of counts.
You didn't qualify for the whole one.
And then your fifth lead pipe block was Eli Mason, state champion in the 110 hurdles. Eli Mason was a PL kid?
PL, yeah.
PL kid, okay. So close, but incorrect. What do you get, second?
0.10 seconds off. He was second. The kid from DeSales ran 15.50, and Mason ran 15.60.
Okay.
So what you're saying is you should have maybe taken options 6, 7, and 8 last week when I put them on the thing.
Yeah, you should have expanded your pool there. You were
because then I would have had more chances to be wrong.
1.5 for 5.
Yeah, 1.5.
Luke Barrick's gonna pull vault 19 feet.
Hey, 1.5 for 5. What is that? 300?
Yeah,
Get you in the Hall of Fame in baseball.
There you go. All right, so let's go through we'll start with the 1A, 2B, 1B meet. Who were our state champions?
So Thursday was Adam Kruger in the 2B triple jump, first career state title for him. Also set the school record that was held since the mid-90s. Actually, let me pull up, because I texted Grady Fallon what the school record was. He said it was Niles Jones in 1995. It was 43 feet, 8 3/4 inches, and Kruger's winning jump was 43 feet, 9 inches.
All right, pretty nice.
So all counts. So that was Thursday. And then Friday was the Ethan Thayer show, swept the discus and the shot put. A dominant run by him. Hadn't officially not lost since the Oregon Relays, which was April 11th. Swept the discus and the shot in every single meet since then. Just an absolute, kind of incredible run by him. His best throw was 189. Of the season, his best throw in the discus was 189 feet, and then his best shot put throw was 63 feet, 5 inches. So it sets him up for a senior year where...
Oh, he's only a junior?
Yeah, he's
Jesus
a junior.
Christ.
So I think next year, year might be that 200-foot throw. That's what he wants. He wants 200 feet in the discus.
Never wrong, just early.
Right, correct.
And the thing about Thayer, how tall? He's not that. He was what, 5'9", 5'10"?
I mean, I'm sure on the football roster he lists him at 6'1", but
yeah, I'm sure Mazzy's got him. I'm sure Mazzy's got him at 6'1", 250.
Right, but he's probably like 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah, he's not like your prototypical high school shot putter, who's just like a lineman kind of guy.
Yeah, he's
just like a weight room kind of guy.
Yeah, he's a physical specimen.
Yeah, every time I see a picture of that kid, I'm like, man, good for you, buddy.
We could never.
Nobody in this room could ever.
So he's only junior. So he wants 200 feet in the discus next year and 65 feet in the shot next year. Those are his marks he wants to hit.
Do you think he could hit those marks?
I think he can. Yeah.
Are you going to be out there like at the Onalaska early preseason track practices with binoculars, like hiding in the parking lot?
Probably not. But
that strikes me as more of a guy who'll climb up on the roof and just watch from there, like a lawn chair and
a Matt Gall after he got tossed in that one postseason game.
Yeah.
Watching from the stands in Adna.
All right. Thayer got 2. I think he's probably the MVP of track for the season, or for the weekend at least, for sure.
Oh, I would. Yeah, him and Emily Jacoby, which she won on Friday. She won the discus, and then on Saturday she won the triple jump. 2 events that she are kind of like new-ish to her. She hadn't done the triple jump since 8th grade, and she did it 4 times this year and won a state title. And then discus, she kind of picked up last year towards the end, and this year she kind of ran with it. And then she won league and districts, and then won state. 129.4, I believe, was her winning discus throw, and then triple jump, 35 feet 9.5 inches on Saturday. And then Saturday was also Lewis Kozer, Oakville.
Oh, before we get to that, where did Onalaska wind up in team?
Oh, for the boys, they finished 3rd.
Okay.
So, and all field events, not a single running event. So, Barrick in pole vault, Thayer in shot and disc, and then Nolan Hornsby placed in both shot and disc, and then Brody Triana finished 4th in javelin.
Okay.
So, five guys, all field events.
All right. And then Kozer, what's he, like a 3-peat guy?
3-peat in the discus.
Okay.
He wanted to go for the state record. It was like 169, but he admitted he kind of took his foot off the gas. And then, so his best throw was 166, I believe. But it's a 3-peat. He wants to walk on to Western Washington to continue throwing. So we'll see if hopefully that works out for him. And then he was also 2nd in shot put. So 2nd straight year he is finished top 3 in shot and then 1 discus.
Okay.
And then let's see.
Have we gotten to Barrick yet? We talked about Barrick a little bit.
Yeah, we talked a little about Barrick. Yeah, I mean, just he gave it his all. I mean,
he won a state title. There's no
yeah, he
shame
won
in
a
that.
second straight state title. No
and
shame
he's
in
also
that.
like, he strikes me as the kind of kid that just from seeing the pictures and everything, like he finishes, he clears the bar, hops up, does a backflip, goes throws his arms out like gladiator to the crowd. That kid knows how to live it up and like put on a show.
Yeah,
it
he
seems
does.
like.
He does know how to put on a show. And he after his last attempt at 17-1 failed, he landed on the pad and then just kind of gave everyone a wave, like final wave of goodbye to a pretty outstanding high school career.
Is Thayer going to start doing that next year after his long throws? He's going to like do
No,
a
he's just
little
gonna
dance, or-
walk off stoic because he's just a stoic.
Stoic
kid.
that's.
He is not a showman like Luke Barrett.
He is the strongest ginger in all of Lewis County. All right. Any other 2B, 1A, any other Yakima track state champs?
Let's see. So Kruger, Thayer ×2, Jacoby ×2.
Should I go
Barrett,
grab
Kozer.
the paper to make sure we don't
No,
miss anybody?
that's all 7 of them.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Any kids that didn't win state titles in Yakima track that had surprising performances or raised some eyebrows, that kind of thing?
Carly Phelps for PL. She did the 100 hurdles, first year up for track, and she placed fourth in the 100 hurdles PR, sub 16, I believe. So that was good for her. And then Jaslyn Shoemate for Rainier took third in the open 4, and then 6th in the 300 hurdles. Victoria Sancho for Winlock, she finished with 9 career state medals in her career. She medaled in the 100 and the 200. And then Trevin Gale for Toledo was third in the 400, and Connor Hill for Toledo was second in the 32. Kind of there was a kid from Jenkins, Emmett Warren, the 8th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
Chihuahua? Yeah, that sounds sure.
He kind of broke away from the pack, and then Connor Hill kind of won a foot race with a Northwest Christian kid towards the end. And
They're all foot races.
Hmm?
Nice.
Well, correct. But he won the home stretch and timed, I think, 9:46 something. So those were some of the other, and then Eli Mason, we just talked about, state runner up in the 110 high hurdles. So that was another. That was all from Yakima. That were some of the big hits.
All right. Ridley, you were in Yakima shooting some track too. Anything stand out to you? What did you like to take pictures of over there?
Hurdles are always really fun. Jav is the worst to take photos of.
Okay.
It's
How
really
come?
hard.
Just because of the setup.
It's the
out there?
setup that they have, and then it's also just the javelin in general is awkward to shoot while getting the kids' faces in the same frame, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
think that's
Great.
Awesome. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Cool.
No state champions though for me.
Well, there's always next year.
We were holding out hope that Barrick would go and she would still be able to make Napavine because pole vault started at 1,
Yeah.
but it starts at like 9 feet or whatever. And it's like, yeah, Barrick's not going to jump until at least 15.6. And then we could kind of tell by 3:15 the bar was still at like 12 feet. We're like, all right, yeah, probably not going to happen.
And Holman, you get another one.
I bet if you would have told Barrick that you wanted to shoot photos of him, like he would have been like, hold on, I got something up my sleeve here.
You want me to start at 13? Is that what you said?
All right. So what happened at the 2A state meet in Tacoma? We had one big local win. Sam Volavola?
From Centralia, yep, shot put. First shot put state champion in school history since the 50s.
Nice.
Which is pretty remarkable. I think it was in 1950 exactly, so 76 years.
Emmett Warren, the 6th, was probably competing in Yakima when that happened. Or whatever his last name was. Was it Emmett Warren?
Emmett Warren, yeah. Yeah, that was impressive. And then Sam also got second in the discus. Then Tumwater had 3 state champs. Jackson Budd on Thursday in the long jump. State record 24-2. The craziest part about his state championship was his first mark of 22.5 held through until the 5th round, but he kept foul. Bud's next 5 attempts were all scratches, all fouls. And then on his last one, he just uncorks a 24-foot jump and wins a state title and state meet record. So that was cool for him. And then Cody Hayes, javelin kid, won with a PR, I think of 178 something. Second straight PR for him. He's only a freshman, so we'll see what the future holds for him. And then Owen Reamer won the high jump, 6'5", I believe. Apparently he took a 2-year hiatus from high jump, is what Rube told me. Took a 2-year hiatus from high jump and then picked it back up 4 weeks ago, and now he's state champ.
All right.
So,
Was Tumwater Track doing the Napavine baseball thing of bleaching their hair, or was that just a couple kids?
I don't know. I didn't really see a lot of bleached hair when I was at district, so it might have been just a state thing.
Do you guys want to talk about? We didn't mention this earlier. The Napavine bleached hair situation.
I think that's just like some baseball teams do it. It's like softball with the tattoos. It's like hockey with the playoff beards. I think I remember Puerto Rico did it in the World Baseball Classic a few years back.
Yeah,
that must have been the 17 one because I was in high school and I had a buddy who did it. He was Puerto Rican, and
you guys ever bleach your hair?
Stuck. I have not. No.
Cowards.
I look like I have frosted tips in my ID photo somehow.
You dumping some lemon juice in there? In the
lighting. It's a good icebreaker at bars. How can we forget? We also had a couple other honorary local state champions.
South Whitby.
South Whitby had
really?
at least one.
We actually had a girl.
I think we had two.
We had a girl sweep all 3 distance races. So the 32, 1600, and 800. Reed Atwood won all 3 of those distance races for state championships.
I remembered the name. I was just about to be like, shout out to her.
There were a couple other South Whitby state champs. I don't remember who they were, or actually, you know what? I texted Dylan a couple of them.
I thought you were going to say you looked up their coach and texted him. And was
No, actually, this is Dylan's got a story about some photos he took that he had to get in touch with a coach.
Yeah, so this kid, I was down there. I was helping get photos of like Chewelah, Northport, La Center for Caden Bryn Hansen. Just when I wasn't at baseball, I figured, worst case I could help them out, but they had a pretty good handle on things like Holman, Ridley, and Zach. So I figured I'd just help out where I could, right? And the 2B100, this Cleellum kid sprints, right?
Yeah.
Him and I don't even remember who he like finished neck and neck with, but it was neck and neck. And this kid basically immediately turns, just kind of puts his hand on his head, and his mouth is wide open, and he's like clearly waiting to see if he won. And so I'm standing there. I'm like, this kid's going to go crazy if he wins. Sure enough, he goes crazy. I get some cool photos of him celebrating. He celebrates big, is what one of the coaches told me. So I found a couple of the kids, actually. They had all their Cleellum shirts that were watching. I found them, and I was like, hey, where's your coach? Like, trying not to be awkward. I'm like, got some photos of your guy. Like, I'm wondering where your coach is. I'd love to like get an email or something just to send it to.
Yeah.
They point me out to a coach. By the time I get back on the field, the coach is gone, and he's like actively coaching. So I don't want to like, So I actually found a parent on the side with a Cleellum shirt, and I was like, hi, I'm just wondering, like, you a coach? He points me to this next guy. And I was like, I give it to you for free. Like, I don't even even if they just end up like on this kid's mom's phone, like it's better than like me formatting the card in 12 hours and them just getting lost to the ether. So I emailed that guy, the coach. I hope the kid got it. I don't remember his name. Shout out to you.
All right.
Shout out Cleellum, I guess. Nellie Nichols won a few things too, I think.
Yeah, Nellie Nichols was she won the 400, and I think she might have won the 200. I don't remember.
She was up there.
Yeah, she was a 2-time state champ. So
there was a Bellevue Christian girl. I don't remember her name either. Just shows you how much I was paying attention. I don't remember her name either.
No, I don't remember her name either. But yeah,
they were announcing she won like 12. She finished her high school career with like 12 state medals.
She
won
finished
the double 4 years in a row.
She won the 100 hurdles and the 300 hurdles all 4 years of her high school career.
Pretty good.
That's pretty impressive.
And there's a freshman from LaConner who was an 8th grader last year that was winning a bunch of stuff. Like
Faith Jenkins, yeah, she's a beast as a sprinter.
The kid from Freeman's going to Montana. There's a lot of good track and field athletes in the state.
Trent
it's kind of crazy.
Trenton Sanborn from Freeman, yeah, he won the high jump, won the 300 hurdles. Or no, finished second in 300 hurdles, won the 110 high hurdles, and then anchored on their 4x4. Yeah, a lot of good athletes from not only from our area but from the rest of the state in the Palm Springs of Washington.
All right. Do you guys want to talk about the athletic year as a whole? Reflections on the 2025-2026 year. How many state champs did we have? Team champs? Just Napavine baseball? Just got one in there right at the end, huh?
It's been what, one per year the last... No, we didn't have one last year, I don't think.
Yeah, we did. We had Adna softball.
Oh.
Yeah.
I always forget about them because they always... Well,
not this year.
Not this year.
Yeah, I'm sure that'd be fine. Can't give a crap anymore. What was the most entertaining thing you guys covered this year? Dylan, you're up first.
I kind of always default to Spokane when I get
Yeah.
the chance to go there, especially when, Adna makes a run like that and the whole story surrounding Colfax and get them playing Colfax in the state title game and just kind of being there to watch that.
Yeah.
I think that immediately stands out as a highlight.
All right. Zach, what was your favorite thing to cover this year?
I would say, well, it was my first time being at the state football championship game. Even though Toledo and Tumwater even though Toledo and Tumwater didn't end up on top, like it was still cool to be in that setting and just cover that. But and obviously state basketball, state track, those are two of my favorite weekends. So those were always highlights to cover.
All right. And Ridley, what was your favorite thing to shoot this year?
I feel like I should say Napavine winning, but I think basketball is definitely the most fun. I think just the whole energy around the whole weekend and Adna making that run was really fun.
All right.
I think the venue and the length of that gets a bump too. You're there for 5 days, and
Yeah, you
Spokane
really
Arena is such a cool venue.
You get a feel for the arena, a feel for
Yeah.
Spokane.
Yeah,
you know,
you're
it's-
really in it.
It's cool to just to walk into work
There's a
every day at
Chili's,
the arena.
like
Damn it.
There's
we were
a
hanging out.
Chili's.
We were talking about. We got the chance in Spokane because of more downtime than a lot of other state tournaments. Like we got the chance to get dinner with like Nate and Bob from KELA.
Yeah.
Like there's just kind of the whole contingent goes over, not just each school in each town, but also like just kind of all the media people we see throughout the course of the year. And it's just kind of a big shebang at the end of the winter.
Have you guys gone out drinking with any coaches over in Spokane yet?
Not in Spokane.
No.
But in Olympia.
It's always like once we get to the end of the year, like I always am appreciative of all the coaches and ADs and athletes we have in this area because they're always good to us. And
It's a great area.
it is, yeah. We're pretty spoiled with the amount of the head coaches that'll call us and text us. We can be professional with, but also BS with. Same with the ADs and just good and athletes that are willing to talk to us and give us good stuff. We are pretty spoiled with what we have here.
Yeah, I agree. It's been like that for a long time, and I think this area has a really good relationship between the newspaper coverage and the coaches and athletes and parents and everything that engage with that and help the sports staff out and read the stuff and comment on the stuff and provide feedback. Yeah, it's a great spot for that. Speaking of, the Athletes of the Year ceremony is coming up Tuesday. Originally, it was going to be Thursday. It's not Thursday.
It's not
Right.
Thursday.
It is not Thursday.
A lot of stuff on Thursday, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
it
I've
is
heard. So I've been
Tuesday.
told.
Yeah. Next Tuesday, June 9th still at Jester's, still at 6:00.
All right. Do you guys have any
6 o'clock.
any notes you want to give? Any previews? You want to say who the Athlete of the Year is? And I'll
Yeah.
whiz it
So the
out?
boys' athlete of the year is.
And on the girls' side,
It is.
Okay, great. Glad we got that out there. It's the usual number of awards and stuff like that. You and Dylan are going to get up and do your usual duet midway through.
Gary, now I know I was wrong. I messed
I
up.
was petrified.
I'll do the whole song if no one cuts me off.
Okay, great. All right, so yeah, check
Either that or
out.
Colt 45. I figured one was more PG.
I'm gonna sing some Dirt Nasty. And everybody has been. The invites are out for that and everything.
Yeah, we've adjusted the invites too, so that way everyone knows the updated day for it.
Okay. And then all area baseball and softball teams are coming out soon. How are those coming along?
Ideally, next week, we're starting to compile stats. We'd love to have a list by the end of the week. And then obviously, we got to get in touch with Jason at CC. I'd love to use that field again, obviously. Jason,
Yeah.
if you're listening, I'll be reaching out to you soon.
Okay.
Oh, that's another thing we can touch on real quick. CC had their senior all-star baseball game yesterday.
Yeah.
Pretty low-key. I don't even know if anyone was keeping book.
It was so wholesome.
Jerseys were like, there wasn't even like one team wears white, one team wears dark. It was like, I don't know how they split up the teams, but it looked like they might have, which is totally, I'm not saying this is a bad thing or anything, but you had like Monty kids, there was like 5 of them, so they split them up and they split the Centralia kids up. It literally looked like everyone lined up in a row and they went 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. But it was cool. And Beckman Dvorak, he gets on the bump in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs to face Connor Coleman, and I'm like, there's no way he's pitched before. It was real like Freddie Freeman, Anthony Rizzo vibes.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him about it after. Just kind of encapsulates the spirit of that, where it's like, yeah, obviously you want to win, but at the end of the day, like this is just kind of a cool thing to get out and just get one last game in, with all these seniors. And a few guys played their way into some all-state team nomination, and a committee has to decide on that and all that fun stuff. And that's in Yakima in a couple weeks, to which I was like, you guys have a blast. Good on Yakima for a bit. But Dvorak went 3 for 3, won offensive MVP. There were kids from WF West, Napavine, Adna, Aberdeen, Monty, Elma, Centralia. Did I say Rochester? I'm definitely probably forgetting a school or two. But a lot of like the Evco and the Evergreen. Just kind of a cool thing at the end of the year. It sounds like they did the softball last week, which we did not know about until after. But it sounds like that's going to maybe start to be a thing. It sounded like this year because LCC usually does it, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like this year there were so many kids that they wanted to do that they just decided to have a second game. I think the vibe I got was it would be cool to do this every year, but also it probably is going to depend on, availability, and LCC obviously sounds like they've had their more like they've done theirs longer. So maybe it has a bit more like standing as like the priority, but I know they're trying to do it with volleyball and softball as well. It seems like CC is kind of making that effort to make these all-star events kind of an event for the kids, and they're trying to do it on a more yearly basis. So I'd be on the lookout for those, next school year and beyond.
Yeah, for sure. And I, on the notes here, Aaron's Backrooms movie review.
Yep, we're turning this thing into a letterbox podcast over the summer.
I can't wait. I'm so
we're
excited.
We're going to do 1 7-minute podcast every 6 weeks.
Did you listen to News Dump where Farmer and I talked to movies and Schwartz just sat there?
I did not.
In the third chair.
I will have to listen to News Dump.
Yeah, he did not know what was going on.
I have to head out for Thurston all area photo shoot.
Great work, Ridley.
Stay tuned for that, guys.
Thanks, Ridley.
I'll let you know what Aaron thought about the Backrooms. We got to go spoiler free because I'm seeing it on Saturday with some friends.
You can't spoil this movie. Like, nothing happens.
That's a spoiler. That in and of itself. It's the Backrooms. What'd you expect?
Yeah.
I can't wait
I'm just in this for the vibes. I have no idea what this is.
I can't wait to hear like 7 weeks or 28 days or whatever the song is, and I'll be in the movie like Leo DiCaprio. Like,
what is what is this? What is this show, movie? I don't even know what this is.
Go ahead.
So the Backrooms lore goes back to this like Reddit posts from like this weird Wisconsin warehouse in like 2013 or something. And it's basically the idea of like, what's the word? Like liminal spaces?
Liminal spaces.
Liminal spaces of like
Liminal
places
spaces.
that feel familiar, but aren't. And they have this like creepy vibe to it, but they still are somehow also comforting. And it started as just this one picture on Reddit, and it's kind of turned into this, sort of creepypasta / internet legend. And there's been so many different like branches of lore that have kind of come out across the years. And so the guy who created one of the original Backroom short films, I believe, is the director of this movie. He's like 20 years old. He kind of grew up with the lore in a sense. Not that there's like, it's not like, boy, I'm really nerding out right now. It's not like Five Nights at Freddy where the lore is pretty like hard, steadfast. Right. Like the Backrooms kind of have some more creativity and flexibility to it.
Okay.
But yeah, the guy that made the one of the original most popular short films kind of created a movie about it. So basically, you stumble your way in, and I'm not sure what exactly happens in the movie, but the idea is once you stumble your way in, it is almost next to impossible to get out. And you are, you're either there alone or you're not. And which one is more terrifying?
Okay.
That kind of vibe.
All right.
Yeah, so I went to see it with Ty, and the second the credits rolled, I turned to him and I said, "What the fuck was that?"
That's what my mom said to me after Wall-E back in the day.
Okay, well.
Said 2 hours of her life she'll never get back.
It was.
Is that a good what the fuck was that? Or is that a confused both? Yes?
Confused. Like, the movie was well done, and it was entertaining, and it really picks up in the third act, I would say. The first 2/3 of it, I was just kind of like, what? Okay, I get it. There's a back room. Is anything going to happen back there?
He said the thing.
It was good. It was well done. I don't know if it's necessarily for me. I didn't grow up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Or Reddit.
Yeah.
This is very much like the FNAF movies where it's like, if you are familiar with the content and you like it, like you're going to like it even more. Like it could stand alone as its own thing, but it's very much meant for people who have, or at least that's like the target audience.
Yeah, there were some good scares and some really cool imagery in the second half, final third of the movie. And Ty loved it, so success, I guess.
Yeah, I am curious. I'll see it this Saturday, so this will get answered. But in the trailer, they have like a door drawn on the wall. Mm-hmm. Like it's not supposed to be that easy to just no clip through. But I digress. We'll see on Saturday.
Yeah, that was one of the things for me. I thought. Oh, I won't spoil it for you.
Thought it was supposed to be a little more difficult to get in, but
yeah,
I digress. Yeah, that's all I got. I'm excited to see it. I'm very excited if you can't tell.
All right. So Dylan's
You
entire
are
summer
nerding out
plans.
over this.
Dylan's entire summer plans are see back rooms. Zach, what are you up to this summer as far as work goes?
Not much. I think, Skylar wants to go explore Washington a little bit more this summer, so we're probably going to do some road trips.
Take her up to Port Townsend.
Go to take some hikes. Bring the young lad to with some hikes.
Poulsbo's pretty nice.
I've been to Poulsbo for work. I think I got enough. I've been to Poulsbo twice for work. That's too many times.
I've been to like downtown Poulsbo.
I guess, yeah.
High school.
Go up to Port Townsend.
Okay.
Get some waterfront pizza and just walk around. It's really cool.
Okay. I'm down. Always down for some good za.
I'll be heading to Bend next month with some guys for a bachelor trip.
Nice.
And then I'm going to Alder Lake in August, which is always a cool camp spot.
Nice. All right.
Looking forward to it.
Anything else you guys want to?
Should we reference the gunshots that we mentioned at the beginning?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We need
It's
to
not
reference the
gunshots.
gunshots.
So Ridley and I, it's like 1:30 in the morning, technically Sunday morning. We're all still working. We're all delirious. We're all sleep deprived. We're all full on Texas Roadhouse. Ridley and I hear this like kind of like weird like crack. And Zach and Holman are BSing across the room, and Holman sees us like kind of how we react. We're like, what? And Holman's like, oh, that was Zach. Like he did something or whatever. We're like, all right, sure. And then the second one happens, and we were like, hey, that shit kind of close.
It was not me.
So sure enough, I mean, it's out there in Wapato, out in the middle of nowhere. It was probably just some guys out there shooting. Yeah, see? You know who had
You guys
this?
ever just stay in a goddamn hotel?
He says this every podcast.
You know what the best reaction was? Maz called me Sunday morning. We had just gotten breakfast. So I was just about to get back on the road to head west. And he's like, you guys catch up on some sleep? I was like, yeah, we're out in Wapato. And he's like, Wapato? You're like, your white ass didn't get shanked.
Yeah.
And then he goes, something drive by. And I was like, we did hear people out shooting last night. He's like, I bet you did. I was like, I knew it.
Well, I'm glad you guys once again failed to just book a normal goddamn Airbnb
How?
close to where you were working.
Where is it more likely we're going to enter the back rooms? A Holiday Inn or the Airbnb of, what were their names? Carolyn and the deaf... Doyle.
If you want some
Nice
back
old
rooms,
deaf man named Doyle.
if you want some back rooms, stay in the Red Lion in Yakima. There is 100% some back rooms in there.
Speaking of red, I never caught this guy's name. A guy from the state baseball committee was like kind of overseeing the umpires in Yakima at the 2B, Final Four and 1B. Super cool guy, just BSing with us. He comes up to Ridley on Saturday because it was just me Friday. It was muggy, cloudy, rainy. Saturday, the sun comes out. And I think she said she either left it with you guys in Yakima or at the
her
Airbnb.
sunscreen,
She
yes.
didn't have sunscreen. And she started getting red immediately. And the guy came up and was like, if I'd have known any better, I would have asked if you worked at Red Lobster and you the lobster. And she was just glowing red. And she ends up we all end up getting a little burnt just being out in the sun all day. He also had a trivia question.
Okay.
If we're in the spirit of why not. Career leader, Major League Baseball, most home runs without ever hitting more than one in a game.
Oh, that's a weird question.
So the backstory, wasn't this like he was handing out bags of candy, right?
Yeah, he was bribing kids with candy to go get the foul balls.
This guy sounds great.
S tier. Yeah.
Yeah, but this kid didn't. But this kid wanted a bag of candy, and so we gave him a trivia question. And
Yes.
this was the trivia question he gave probably a 13-year-old kid.
Yeah, all
Or
the parents and I were
younger.
like, I don't know. And he said at the time the active leader was J.P. Crawford. That night, J.P. Crawford hit 2 homers against Arizona.
Oh, that guy sounds
win.
like having a premonition. I have no idea who
Yeah,
this
me
could
neither.
be.
It was Lou Piniella.
Okay, all right. I was
Never-
going
like
to say Richie Sexton, but
Dude, that would have been, I would have melted. It would have been incredible.
all right. In closing, we've been sponsored by Goebel Septic, The Roof Doctor, Americool, and CrossCountry Mortgage from Jacek Gillispie. We will be off until spring for football?
August football
Kicks off
probably.
in late
Football
August sometime.
Football practices start on August 19th. Start the countdown.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Okay.
My mom's birthday. Happy birthday.
And we will see all of you at the Athletes of the Year ceremony, which is Tuesday,
Tuesday.
June 9th at 6 o'clock at Jester's Auto Museum in Chehalis.